Hi, this is Karen, your scrap and stamp angel. Along with Zoe, we're going to do some stamping today using Versamark. Versamark has a lot of versatility to it. Let me show you some of the things that we'll be doing today. We'll be doing a card, a large gift tag. This would be nice as a tag on a package or even as a title on a scrapbook page. And another tag with a little bit of bling. One of the first things that I'm going to show with the Versamark is what's called a watermark. Just take your stamp directly into the Versamark pad, and I'm going to put it on this blue cardstock. Can you see how it takes the blue and it just kicks it up a notch? Let me show you again. Stamp. I'll go ahead and do several. And see how it takes the blue and just deepens it. So it's like having a coordinating ink color. Let me show you how it works on a different color. We'll use red. This is basil. By the way, not all cardstock will work with this Versamark. Basil I know works, so you're going to have to do some testing on that to see what others work. And see how it took that red and just popped. So there you can use it as a watermark. And as you can see, this is how I did this gift tag here. I did the whole background. Just using that snowflake with the Versamark, made it into a background paper. The next thing I'm going to show you, find my little Christmas tree. There's my Christmas tree. I'm going to stamp it with the Versamark. When you use Versamark, it's very tacky. That's one of the great property it has. However, you need to be good about cleaning your stamp once you've used the Versamark, because you don't want to keep that tackiness on your stamp. Because as you can see, my cardstock adheres to it. I'm going to take chalks. And as you can see, my chalks have been well loved. And just lightly go over where I just stamped with the Versamark. And you see how the tackiness of the Versamark is picking up that chalk and holding on to it. You also see my cat's hair there. Is that Zozo's hair? It's almost like magic, isn't it? When the way you see it appear. Can you see that? See, it was clear, now it's picked up the chalk. And if you want it to go deeper, you can add another layer. If you want your green to be a little darker, you can just keep adding. So that's a second use of Versamark. Use it first as a watermark. Second, it'll adhere to the chalks. The next thing Versamark is good for is embossing. We're going to be embossing the word joy. All of the stamps that I'm using today are from the Angel Company. They're all nicely deep-edged rubber that we can use on acrylic blocks, as you've seen me do. So I've loaded my stamp with the Versamark. Stamping onto white cardstock. Use some red embossing powder. And you can be real generous with this, because as you notice I'm using a tray so that I will be able to recycle all of that powder and none will go to waste. Now, if you've embossed before, You know how a lot will like to, the powder would like to adhere to places where you haven't stamped. I just take a little brush, brush that off. But look how nicely this embossing powder is held on to where I stamped with Versamark. Versamark is like an embossing ink on steroids. It's the bomb. So let me go ahead and emboss it, because that's really where the fun starts. Let me show you one that I've already finished, excuse me. I was always going to walk across. She didn't like me getting that embossing gun out. So here's the one that I did finish. Look at that. Didn't that turn out stunning? That is such a beautiful, beautiful stamp. So that's a third way that you can use Versamark. Use it as an embossing ink. Use it as a watermark. See, that's how I did this this card here. All of this was just blank red cardstock, and I took some pattern stamps that I had, I stamped them with the Versamark, and I made my own background paper. And then the other thing we did was we stamped the Versamark and then put a little chalks on it very softly. And you see where the inked image just grabbed onto that chalk, punched it up. You notice this one I had to add a little bling. I just had this bling thing going. You can also get refills for the Versamark. You're going to find so many uses for it. If you want some other ideas of what you can do with Versamark and other products, I'll be putting my blog on the end of this video, so please visit me.